to Morally Corrupt, a show here on the Ringer reality feed. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. Long day already. That is Chelsea Stark-Jones that you hear. I am Rachel Lindsay. Welcome to the news version of our show. Finally, I've been saying it. It's like I've been prepping for this moment. For weeks, I've been like, we have so much news to get to. And then we get to Tuesday and I'm like, okay, we really didn't have that much news, but we actually really have a lot of news to get into. So we're getting into it. I don't know. I guess I'm just so excited about it. Some of it I'm into, some of it I'm not. So let's start off.
When it rains, it pours. Like it really does.
But there's some sunshine. It's like sunny and raining.
Yeah. It's a
Which
full
I love.
storm. It's a summer storm on the East Coast.
I love when the sun shines out and it's raining. That's literally what's happening now. So like some people like it, some people don't. That's where we are in Bravo world. So we'll start off with the most breaking news, I will say, which is that right before we hopped on this, we got an announcement on IG from none other than Brynn Whitfield, who announced that she will be leaving reality TV to focus on RHOP and her podcast, which I guess that means, part of our family. So, that's
Ringer
like good
podcast.
That's good news for Ringer.
Love that for us.
Maybe some good news for you if you were not a fan of Brie, and maybe some bad news if you were. When you saw this news, Chelsea, I'm wondering what it said to you. I'm on my phone. I want to look it up now because I want to read this long post. It's called A Little Life Update. It says, after a lot of thought, I've made the decision to walk away from reality TV for now. Last week, I guess RHOP hit, I'm going to paraphrase now, hit a massive download milestone. So that's good news for her. So she says this feels very surreal. Now she just wants to pour all of her energy into building RHOP into the #1 dating app in the world. She talks about how Housewives will always be a fun and chaotic and magical chapter in her life. It was an honor to be a part of the reboot. She's been a fan of the franchise ever since it started. And she's proud to have done that. She says that she hopes she made you laugh, she made you cry. Blah, 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 blah. She says, I hope there's a TV in heaven so that Mimi, which we know she, introduced us to on the show, who lived for her shows, could watch her and be proud of her. She said to every person who gave her a chance, cheered her on, and afforded her love and grace, thank you. To the rest of us, she said, fuck you. No, she didn't say that, but it's implied. She said the good news is she's just getting started. And then she says she's never felt more than herself than on her Spotify podcast, aka Ringer Reality TV. That's what it should have said. And so she basically just says she's going to pour her heart into that. She says she may write a book. She is writing a book.
She is writing a book. It says that it's going to come out by the end of this year. But
okay. And so she's writing a book. So she's focusing herself. Oh, she's splitting time between London and New York City. So she's got a lot of things on her plate. You saw this. She announced it. Your thoughts?
My first thought was, I feel like we're going to get RHONY news sooner than we anticipated. This feels like announcing your exit before they potentially might be letting you go. Because even though it does sound like she is doing so much, like everything she's doing would be served by being on the show and promoting it and talking about it on the show. So I think I was an advocate for Brynn coming back, redeeming herself for her 3rd season, and for everyone to see a different side of her. So I'm a bit disappointed that she is stepping away. But also, if you do listen to her podcast, please see below, which you can listen to and watch on Spotify. She does at times talk about her experience on Bravo, and she does not talk about it in the kindest of lights. So her stepping away also isn't that surprising to me, just based off of how she has framed her experience specifically this last season, and how much it has weighed on her mentally as well. It's been really tough. So sad to see her go. Would have liked to see her at least one more season to try to redeem herself. Talk about these brands that she's working on that everyone seems to think she doesn't have a job, but to actually show she has a job. That could have been one of her bits this season. But yeah, I mean, I guess in lighter news, I think we'll be getting some RHONY updates soon. So there's that.
What makes RHOP different from other dating apps? And why didn't we see more of this on the show?
I think it was being developed post filming. And it's like a video version of dating apps. So
Oh, hell no.
it's not like just photos. I think it's kind of like a TikTok Reels version of a dating app.
I could see the
So
younger generation being into that.
yes,
Hoppy is off-putting though. It makes me think of Bethany's ex.
I saw that. I was like, oh yeah. It is targeted towards college age students. So
Okay,
yes, yes.
because as a millennial, I'm like, no, that just seems like a lot. But I get the next generation would be into that.
Yeah.
My thoughts when I saw it, I said, "Girl, bye." Like
Not
that was my first
surprised.
thought, and not bye because I'm like, "Don't come back." Bye because, duh, nobody thought you were coming back. It's like, one, is the franchise coming back? We don't know, but we definitely know Brynn isn't coming back. From everything you see with social media behavior and the way the women are moving around, they seem to be doing that without Brynn.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, it seems like, for Brynn to come back. And
Yeah.
whether you like her or you don't, that's just an observation. I'm not putting my opinion in that. It just didn't make sense for Brynn to come back. So when I saw this long message, it's like, girl, we know.
Mhm.
Okay. But I understand the formality of it. The second thought I had was yours, which was, oh, they must be restructuring Roni because she's got to get ahead of the announcement before they put something out that says she's not a part of it,
Mhm.
which that is what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to put out a statement like this, tell us all the wonderful things that she's doing, how happy she is, and how she took control of her own narrative,
Yeah.
and she is making a decision for herself. I'm glad that she's stepping away from the show. And you know what? I really enjoyed Brynn the first season. The second
We all
season,
did.
I don't know who she is.
Yeah.
And so because there's so much confusion and what seems to be delusion, it's like we can't get a straight answer. And if we were hoping for it in the reunion, we again didn't get it. We're more confused. I don't want that. I don't want to be confused when I watch my shows. I'm confused in real life. I don't want that. And so it just became so convoluted. It wasn't even the lying and the inflated sense of self that got me, or the daddy jokes or the baby talk. It wasn't even that. It was that I was frustrated watching her. And so I
Mhm.
think it was time for her to move on until she can look herself in the mirror and be real with herself. But of course, she still wanted to be a part of the show. Brynn loves Brynn. That is something we do know and we are not confused about. So, kudos to her and her other endeavors. Don't hate on anybody. Wish her the best. And the podcast, the book, the new dating app, that those are all exciting things. And I hope that Brynn, is in therapy. And I hope that Brynn looks at herself in the mirror and has honest conversations. And I hope that she gets all the things that she wants. That is what I hope for her.
Ditto. And if you want to keep up with Brynn, I will be a good businesswoman and say, go listen to Please See Below on Spotify for video podcasts.
In other news, we've got one housewife who is leaving the Bravo world, but a new housewife is joining. It's been announced that Rachel Zoe, she said the rumors are true, that has been announced, which I don't like, has been announced that she is joining Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Not that I don't like her. I don't like she said that the rumors are true.
I didn't know there were rumors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that goes into my argument of why I'm not a fan of her joining the housewife. Now, we know I love a Rachel. Always do. But if you aren't familiar with Rachel Zoe, she had a TV show that had aired on Bravo for 5 seasons called The Zoe Project. I watched it. It was good. It was entertaining. She is definitely good TV. If you watch that, you saw the marriage, business partner with she and her husband, Roger. They announced their separation at the end of last year, towards the end of last year. They were married for 26 years. They have 2 sons that are teenagers and preteen. So she's got a lot going on. It's not that I don't think she'll be good TV. I am curious. When I saw this, I was curious as to who she's coming in as a friend of.
Yeah.
And I'm sure maybe there's multiple people. But also the reason I'm against it is because she is a seasoned reality TV star. And I don't want that coming into Housewives. She's already putting out the picture she put out with the rumors are true. I don't know if that came from Bravo or if that's something she created, but if it was something she created, that exactly proves my point. I want you to come in as a housewife, not as a reality TV star, which you already are. I want to see you pick up the pieces after a separation. I want to know what happened with Roger. I want to see how you guys co-parent. And we might see all these things, but I don't want to feel like she's performing for the cameras, which I feel like we're going to get. We already are. What were your thoughts when you saw that Rachel Zoe's joining the Housewives of Beverly Hills?
Rachel, I thought it was bananas. And I I don't feel the way that you do about her being a reality TV savant. I think we kind of need that on Beverly Hills, someone that might have a little bit more of a producer mindset, like a Kyle Kyle's not Kyle has a producer mindset because she's been on the show for so long. Like Rachel will have a producer mindset because she knows what people will like for reality TV. So I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. She's wealthy. That's something we talk about a lot about what we want from new housewives is wealth, and that she is. Would be interested about her relationship with Roger, her ex-husband, because that was such a focal point on the Rachel Zoe project. Also, like, this might be a little bit inside baseball or just like a little too online, but Brad Goreski doing housewife skits and having to do Rachel Zoe would just be
Oh,
funny.
nice point.
It would be really funny, like to see him in a Rachel Zoe costume and like.
Will he do it is the question.
I would hope so. Like that would be so viral. So like, give and take. Like I think
Have
that
they
would be
made
fun.
up?
I don't know.
I don't
know.
either.
I don't think so. And if they did, it was privately. But yeah, I don't think so.
Interesting. Well, in Beverly Hills, you want a name. That's a name. I'm interested to see who she gets along with, who she doesn't. Like I said, who she's friends with already. Who maybe
Kathy posted a picture with her, but like
the
Kathy's friend of. So
Yeah.
I'm sure she knows all the women to some extent.
Yeah. Yeah. So we shall see. She's a little prickly. At least she was years ago when she was on TV. So
Yeah.
I wonder how prickly she'll be coming in on this.
Yeah, I haven't been following her since like her time on TV. I don't follow her on Instagram or anything, so I don't know too much of her personality or how she is now. But I am excited to see.
I would imagine that she has been asked multiple times to be on
For sure.
this show. So I want her to say that, and I want her to say why now is the time.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously she's separating, so there's something that comes with that, but I want her to say it.
And another housewife that's not married on Beverly Hills.
Another housewife that's not married. We like, I mean, I don't know what we call it now. The women of Beverly Hills.
The women.
The women of Beverly Hills. In other news, grab your binders, grab your color-coded Post-its, because Monique Samuels is coming back to Real Housewives of Potomac, and I could not be more excited.
Mm-hmm.
She's coming back as a friend of. Now, I say this as a person who loves Candace, okay? Candace, if you're listening, this is not shade to you. I still want you to come back. I have never wanted you to leave, still want you to come back. But I understood Monique's, and I don't condone fighting. We've talked about this. Maybe we didn't.
No, in detail.
I don't condone fighting, but I understand how words equate to like, I'm gonna put these hands on you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So Monique should have never left us. That's my opinion. But she's coming back. We don't have to talk about this anymore. I love that she's coming back. I'm curious to see who she's a friend of, because I don't remember who she was. I guess Ashley.
I think Ashley.
But we've seen some photos of her at Pride celebrating Ashley's birthday, and she's standing next to Giselle, which we know Giselle was very upset at Monique with that fight. So it seems like maybe bygones are bygones, not quite sure. We do also know that Monique has separated from Chris, which when we were watching her last, she was very into her marriage. I mean, as she should be. But you didn't really, maybe you saw some tension there, but not to the point where I thought they were getting divorced, because I remember when it was announced that I was shocked. We know that she's got 3 children, I think. We
Mm-hmm.
also know that she was in the news within the last 2 years because Charisse from Potomac was having a lunch or a dinner with Chris, which was random. So I hope she addresses that. But needless to say, I am thrilled that Monique Samuels is coming back. This is the best Bravo news of the week for me.
Yeah, I think we were big advocates of this. And I think we even like predicted that this would happen, that this would be a good move for Potomac. Pastor Holy Whore is probably one of my favorite lines that has been delivered on Housewives. It sticks with me. Obviously, the binder is by far the best receipt that has ever been brought to a reunion. And now it's like set the standard when someone tries to do something at a reunion to like prove or disprove someone's point. Like everything falls in comparison to that binder. Like nothing, like it just looks silly now when people do like the big printouts or whatever. Like the binder will always be supreme. So I am also very happy for Monique to be back on the show. I did, like you, think that she should have returned after the stuff with Candace. All the women seemingly banded against her to push her out. And I do think she's Ashley's friend. I hope Charisse is, and I'm not a Charisse fan, so me saying that I hope Charisse comes to film something. I hope she does come to film something because I want to know the deets about her and Chris and what happened there. And yeah, I'm happy to have her back in our lives. I'm curious what's been going on. Curious if she'll share a lot about her divorce. She doesn't have to because she's a friend of, but I'm optimistic. I'm here for it. I'm very excited.
I think she's going to go I think she's going to share a lot because, and I think they purposely made her a friend of, because she's got to give it to us to get bumped back up. Bumped back up to full-time cast member. I hope she comes in and she says, I'm here as a friend of Karen. That's what I hope.
Karen.
Yes.
I'm going to advocate for Karen while she's
not
behind
that she's
bars.
advocates. She's just like, I'm a friend of Karen Huger. That's what I hope that she comes in, because if she comes in saying that, she's already giving it to us. Just imagine if she's like,
Karen.
I visit her weekly, at the like I get like, imagine that is entertaining in itself. I'm here as a friend of Karen Huger.
Oh my gosh, I'm dead.
But this is the kind of like, this is when I'm like, Bravo's listening to the people.
Mm-hmm.
The only other person they could bring that would make me as excited is Katie.
Yeah. Katie's a little bit too off her rocker, though. I think they're afraid of that.
Yes, but she's the only other person who could excite me for Potomac in this way. And I feel like they know that there's been a lot of changes. They need, with Karen leaving, and rightfully so, they needed something that was that got the people going, that reminded them of the days of yesteryear.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're giving us Monique, which
I'm very happy about it. I'm very happy about it.
We are fans
I wonder if she still lives in that house.
I don't know.
I mean, we'll find out. But
I don't know. Because remember, they did the other reality TV show.
I didn't watch that one. Did you?
I didn't either. No. I didn't either. But so she wasn't not on it. I think they maybe only did one season.
Yeah, I don't think it lasted. I'm excited. Can't wait.
I'm excited. I'm very excited too. In other news, now we kind of talked about this on the Friday show, but maybe you want to give a little bit of your take. But it is still news, but we talked about it on Friday because it had just happened. But Paige announced that she is leaving Summer House, and Lexi's also announced that she's leaving the show. What else? What else came? I mean, is there something that Carl has confirmed he's coming back? I kind of gave my opinion, so I don't want to sound redundant, but your thoughts on Paige leaving? Do you think that this helps or hurts the show? Lexi, I probably know where you stand with that one, but yeah.
Definitely think it hurts the show. I think it places the show in a spot where it's like, okay, we're definitely having a revamp. Like, this is going to be completely different. Curious how it's going to work with keeping Amanda, Kyle, Carl, and Sierra in the house. And then you have these younger dudes like West and Jesse. Like, the dynamics of like who they will put around that, I'm curious about. I sent a Dumois post to the group. I guess that was last week. Basically, kind of foreshadowing this announcement of Paige leaving,
Yeah.
Lexi and Gabby and Imrul being fired. So we know that Lexi's gone. We haven't heard about Gabby or Imrul, but I think we could all assume Imrul's not coming back. Like the fact that he was a full-time cast member and like wasn't sitting throughout the whole reunion is weird to me.
Yeah.
So we know that, or we could assume that. People surprised that Paige was leaving online is actually crazy to me. Like it just seemed like the proper next step for her career. And it would have been silly, in my opinion, for her to stay another season. Would it have been fun to see a single Paige on Summer House? Sure. Would it have made sense for her career? I don't think so. Like she's kind of moved past coming to the Hamptons every summer and doing the show, and she just released her pajama line, and she is doing some online reality TV thing with Hannah. I would like to see her life more. I don't want to say goodbye to Paige and the capacity of just following her on Instagram. So I do hope there's something more coming for her in a reality TV space, but it doesn't surprise me. Lexi going, I would have liked to see her one more summer. It doesn't pain me that she's gone, but I would have liked to see how she navigated things with the girls and with Jesse for another summer. Summer House is notorious for doing one and done summers, like with cast members.
I like that though. It's very Game of Thrones. No. Like after Lexi's performance on part 2 of the reunion, I don't need any more of it. Like she's full of shit. She didn't really try to get to know the girl. She used Jesse as a scapegoat for that. Like you have choice. You could have tried. You remember you came in as Amanda's friend. You could have tried. You didn't. And I don't want to see how she interacts with Jesse. We saw it. We saw exactly how she's going to be. Like I don't need to see a whole summer of that. She can go. But with Paige, I think the people who are acting surprised that Paige is leaving are the super fans who just really never wanted to see her go.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, going to the summer house is a nuisance. These people spend 3.5 hours minimum driving down on a Friday, and they leave Sunday to drive back. They're not even there for 48 hours. That's every weekend?
Yeah, it's not something that I particularly would like to do.
It's a nuisance.
Yeah, like why don't they like helicopter in? I feel like they make enough money to like.
It's just no. It's kind of like Vanderpump Rules having, like the way that we saw them struggling. Like it's part of the thing.
Yeah.
But I would hate to spend my summer doing that. Yeah. Every weekend I'm like in a car. No wonder those people are in bed.
Yeah.
They're exhausted. They've been sitting in traffic the whole time.
She's been 7 seasons. That's a long time to be doing that. So, yeah, I mean, look, Summer House, I enjoy it. Even when the seasons are bad, like it's not a good, I think this past season was good. I think the season before was good. Even when they don't have like a top tier season, I enjoy just watching the parties, the people, they're beautiful, they're stupid and belligerent. Like I don't mind watching that. But I am curious how they design around it. I did listen to your guys' episode on Friday, and Callie was saying she thinks they should cast around West friends.
Yeah. I'm with it.
I don't disagree, but then I'm just like, what girls are we getting? Like what, and it is weird. Like Kyle and Amanda are never gonna leave unless they are asked to leave. But do we need them to go and like to have more of a hookup house type thing?
No,
like
mom and dad in the house are cool because Kyle's voice of reason this season I appreciate it.
He is
mom and dad are
awfully
cool.
Emotional, like,
and they
which
still
is
have
sweet.
And they still have their own dynamic. So I like the OG, them being the OGs and the mom and dad in the house. But we do need some girls. I liked Callie's idea as well. I think there are places to go. One of the friends liking Sierra, Jesse feeling left out. Like I can see some storylines here developing that I'm into.
And I would like to see Sierra. It's weird. I want to see her date more on TV, but I also don't because it hasn't worked out well for her. Like I want to see her in a different way. And I do also agree with you, like this part 2 of the reunion. Was it part 2? Or part 1, where we learned a little bit more about her family history and stuff like that. Like I just want to get to know her a little bit better. And I do think it's good that Paige is going to be gone because we do get to see her in a different light without Paige. So, but yeah, like, I mean, I would like to see her like soppily make out with guys, but I also don't think she's going to do that.
I don't want it for her.
I know you don't.
As her friend, I advise against this.
I know you don't.
Okay.
As a viewer, it would be nice to see her just like
use somebody else.
Running the house like how the guys do. And just
she
like
can
her
do that.
being like, that's my guy tonight. That's my guy this weekend. Like,
use somebody else. Absolutely not.
I just want our girl to have some fun.
She can have fun. She can run that house, but absolutely not. I want her to come in with some beautiful man that she's met as she's posting online right now. She's overseas. Bring him back. Have him come visit you. What was that pretty man?
Andrea.
Andrea.
Oh, gorgeous.
Bring somebody back like that.
That'll bring her coffee every morning.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm okay with that too. I
Yes.
want to see her not being used in a love triangle. I want to see her owning her narrative in a romance. Like that's how I want to see it, where it's like,
I like it.
She's dominating the thing.
I like it. We kind of talked about this a little bit too, but Next Gen NYC premiered last week. I have watched it mainly because of the fact that there's Biermann family drama. Now, I do feel old when I watch the show. I want to be honest. And I don't say that often. I do not say that often. I like to think that I'm one with the young folks.
Yeah, what's the thing that they're saying nowadays that you
that I'm what?
You said it on the show last week that you repeat. There's like a saying that they say. You know the lingo.
I do know the lingo.
I don't know the lingo. Here I am.
Type shit. I do know the lingo. But listening to them talk is like nails scraping against a chalkboard. That's why I feel old.
When Belle told me that you watched the show, I assumed it was because you had Bravo on and you were watching something else. And then it just like Next Gen NYC was on. And you were just like, oh, let me watch this. Like to hear that you voluntarily watched it is a bit surprising to me.
I watched it after it came on when I saw that Ariana said that Kim stole her money. That's interesting to me.
That is very
And then she said Kim still asked for money. And as I watched it, you know, her boyfriend's telling her stop giving her money. She still asks for money. She says she needs it for the kids. Oh my gosh, that is interesting to me. The rest of it could go. It was painful for me. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how much more I have in me, but that made me want to watch the show. So they did a very good job with putting that in the first episode.
Yeah.
But the way they talk, I feel stupid. I do. I feel dumb.
Because you don't understand the lingo or just because they sound dumb?
I understand
because you
the
know
lingo.
it. Okay, I'm sorry. Duh.
Just the way the conversations they have with each other are like, I know on Housewives, they do silly things and they have silly conversations and we're like, it's so ridiculous that they're arguing over this. Mm-hmm. But the talk between the two of them doesn't sound so remedial.
Yeah, I mean, my dogs agree. I will say I am not going to watch the show. I already watched enough content to make me dumb, which is Love Island USA. However, I did see these clips on Twitter, X, whatever. And that's how I'm going to consume the show. Whenever Ariana talks about something about her mother, I know it will be clipped. And that's how I'll consume it. So I don't have to waste a full 45 minutes of my time. I will just watch it that way, which this had me gobsmacked. I was like, wow. Insane.
Yeah. We know that Kim and Croy have been at each other. We know that they've, I think, filed for bankruptcy or they lost their house or we know all these things, but I don't know what I don't know. And Ariana doesn't know how much money she made. I don't believe that. I just feel like she just didn't want to say, but, I don't know how much money she could be making now, but the fact that Kim is so destitute that she has to ask for money from Ariana is crazy and doesn't seem to have shame in doing it.
Nope.
I mean, I guess
Not
it's like
one iota.
I brought you in this world type situation. It's crazy. But that's kind of where we are with Kim. And if we're getting more of that, I am going to watch.
Yeah.
But all the other storylines, I could care less about.
Yeah, I'm not intrigued. And for those who are like a little in the dark about this, so Ariana is her 23-year-old daughter. So Kim had 2 daughters prior to meeting Croy, and they have 4 kids together, right? I don't know.
I think so.
They have a gang of kids together.
Yeah.
But Ariana was her youngest out of the 2, and Croy adopted Ariana, and what was the other one's name?
Gabrielle? Is that right?
That doesn't feel right.
Oh.
Well, anyways, he adopted both of them. And yeah, Ariana says in a confessional on this Next Gen show, I have been on TV since I was 5 years old, back on the Real Housewives of Atlanta days. I did reality TV with my family, which was the Don't Be Tardy show. Then I started posting on IG. I got my first brand deal when I was 14. You get paid astronomical to do a story or an IG post, and I made quite a bit of money. Unfortunately, my parents took my money. Can't exactly say what they used it on because I just found out it was gone about 2 years ago. Like, that's insane to me. And then she posts a separate story or like reel or something after the show aired explaining like they took her money from the ages of 14 to 20 years old. So everything that she had earned, I guess maybe was put in a trust or savings account or whatever. They took that money. And she is a better woman than I am because she's like, I just don't want to let money get in the way of family. Like, I will do whatever. Like,
do we
blah,
believe
blah.
her?
What part?
Because she threw her mother under the bus. Like, she's saying all the things, but like, you just put your mother on blast.
Yeah. Part of me
I
wonders.
don't even know if I believe that. I think she's pissed at Kim.
I think she's pissed at Kim, and this is her way of getting back at her. Like, she still is like, I'll still help you out. I'll still do this, but I'm going to embarrass you. And it's working. Does Kim care? I don't think she cares.
I don't think she does.
She's still going to be calling her up, asking her to sell her some money so she could and that's the other thing is like, how did you take so much of your own child's money and still end up having your house in foreclosure and still having these debts and still
well, you see how she spends.
Yeah,
the plastic surgery, the wigs. That they talked about her drinking a $200 bottle of wine.
Extremely irresponsible.
Like I remember her credit card bill was insane. Like there's so much going on there that it's like, she's doing the most.
It's insane. And also just to note, like, there's a difference between like I've been watching these. There are these 2 like Family Channel like docu-series about like, those families that like exploit their kids and they're like, oh, this is our YouTube channel and this is day in the life of our family and like these kids are having to do all this stuff. Like, that's different than what Ariana was doing. Ariana was like solely making money for herself. She wasn't a part of her mom's Instagram feed or her mom's ads or whatever to where like her mom should have access to this. Like, it's almost as if she was a child actor where it's like these were her gigs, these were her jobs, and like to have your parents take your money for things that you did and you earned is so foul and disgusting. I wouldn't have her, and I would have been the boyfriend in this situation.
Oh, for sure.
Like, do not send the money because you don't know where it's going unless you're writing a check for kid number 5's elementary school. Fine, but like you just sending her cash.
Right.
And not knowing where it's going? Absolutely not.
Right. Well, at least she got that rich boyfriend. I knew something. I was like, something's not adding up here. Something's not adding up. Oh, okay, he's the heir to a multi-million-dollar company. Okay, now it makes sense.
And he don't want his money getting tangled up in
it. That's why Kim's asking for money. She's like, well, you got a rich boyfriend.
Yeah. You could send it.
Exactly. All right. Well, that's that. I'll watch this week and I'll let you know if I'm still here. Okay? I'll let you know if I'm still here.
Here and smarter.
In other news, we got the trailer to Real Housewives of OC. Biggest shocker to me is that Katie's back. I really thought she was done.
Really?
So I'm really curious to see how she interacts with the women. I did, and I didn't want her to come back. I mean, I saw the promo.
I know you didn't love her.
promo shot, so when I saw it, I was like, "Whoa, she's back!" But yeah.
So I will say this trailer felt a little bit like lackluster to me. The whole like premise of it is they're doing a lie detector test with all the women because there's a liar in the group and yada yada yada. And I just kind of don't like that it's weaved throughout the entire trailer. It does seem as if Katie is under fire for things, and then also it's unclear if she went on the cast trip through just like seeing stuff on social media, fans like speculating if she was there or not. So I do think she has a pretty deep rift with multiple women in the group. So we'll see that play out, and it was starting to kind of unfold at the reunion. Gretchen's back, and with Gretchen we get Slade. We got a few Slade clips in there. So and Gretchen seems to be going at Tamara, which also love that too. Heather and her real estate. I don't care anymore. We get it seems like we're getting a whole new storyline of Heather and her real estate. We get Josh Altman and Josh Flagg from $1 Million Listing in the trailer. I don't care. I don't care.
I stopped caring when they got rid of that house thing.
Yeah.
I stopped caring.
It's like, no, I don't care what you're selling.
Have a real
I don't
estate
care what you're buying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it felt like. I was like, why are we bringing $1 Million Listing on here? Why are they in the trailer specifically? Like, I don't want it.
Right.
Single Shannon is out there kissing him in Newport Beach, which love that for her. Don't care.
She has a show.
I mean, we'll see. I'm happy to see, or I'm looking forward to seeing Shannon without the shackles of Alexis Bellino tying her down and feeling like she has like on edge all the time. Maybe we'll have a more fun Shannon. So hopeful for that. Emily and Gina are having family problems. Gina, of course, with Travis and his baby mama drama, and then Emily something with one of her twins. And there's a line about her potentially divorcing Shane because he's not being a present father or something like that. So they seem to have marriage problems. Jen is still getting married to Ryan. That's a thing.
She's in. She's all in.
So yeah, so that's kind of the gist, the rundown of like where everyone is.
Did you get excited when you saw it? It's coming back July 10th. You watched the trailer. Were you like, yes?
No. No. I feel like I was like, yes, last season. This season, no. It's not giving.
You know,
it might be fun. It might be a fun season.
I've gotten to the point where I don't want to see an amazing trailer and have my hopes let down. I'd rather just be like, okay, give us the trailer to let it know it's coming, and we know that there are places to go there. We can go up from here. Right?
I agree.
That's what I'm into.
I did not think Atlanta's trailer was that great, and I've been enjoying Atlanta this season.
Exactly.
So, I think setting a low bar is helpful. But, I mean, July, I'm watching, so.
Exactly. Yes.
Like, they already got me. But
yes.
I am happy to see, I'm excited to see where things go with Gretchen. And we know that Tamara had her, like, storm off. Remember when she like left New Orleans early?
Yeah.
So like we know stuff happens.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yes, we will see. And it seems like Gretchen and Tamara still don't get along, which is great.
Yeah.
But speaking of Atlanta, a show that had a subpar trailer, but has been pretty entertaining to watch. We know they filmed the reunion. They put out the seating chart, and immediately we see that Brit Eady's not there. So of course, this is upsetting because we know there's so much drama surrounding her. So it's like, what is this thing where people just don't show up to reunions? It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. But then just as we're trying to digest the information that she is not at the reunion and we're trying to figure out why and how this is allowed, we immediately find out that Brit filed a lawsuit against the network for $20 million. Bravo, NBC Uni, the production company, everybody. Where she's accused them of defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, sexual harassment, and fostering a hostile work environment. She claims that she was not, so we all know Kenya is not on the show anymore because she put out these posters where she was exposing Brit and coming after her and showing her her allegedly doing these explicit acts. Well, come to find out, one of the images, at least one of the images, Brit says was not her. So she is arguing that Bravo, NBC, and the production company should have taken further steps to protect her from this scandal. She said she made repeated requests to see what was on the poster board. I guess they didn't let her. She also wants this episode removed from Bravo's library. We know Kenya wasn't at the reunion either. And she claimed via YouTube in April that she had been invited, but then she was disinvited. If Brit is saying that if it is true that Brit is not the person in the images, what do you think about that, Chelsea? Like, how do you agree with Brit that what happened to her was that she was wronged and possibly has an argument here? Or do you not agree with Brit?
I don't. I think that I don't know specifics about these Bravo contracts, but I do believe that when you sign these contracts, they are very clear in that they can use the footage in whatever way, manner, form they feel best suits the story and the narrative of the show. So when you go out and film these things, you know that it could be misinterpreted. Your words could be twisted, actions could be twisted. I think I'm just getting tired of these Bravo lawsuits.
Yeah.
Because we're grown women here. And we know, like, reality TV is not new anymore. We understand we do these things willingly. And to then, step back and say that this ruined my life, my reputation, my career, etc., is a little bit frustrating to me. Especially, I didn't watch last Sunday's episode yet, but like, if you're flashing your tatas on camera and then saying that this ruined your reputation because people don't want to hire you as an insurance whatever, like, they didn't ask you to do, like, I don't know. I don't like it. And I also just don't like Brit. And I feel like Kenya being disinvited to the reunion is because the network knew this lawsuit was coming and they didn't want to dredge this conversation up again.
I think Brit could have a point. Now, I don't like her. Let me just put that. But I think, and this is all me speculating here, when Kenya put those posters up, I don't think that Bravo or production company knew what was on them, right? I don't think that they knew. But once they filmed it, they knew. They saw it. They blurred it out.
Mm-hmm.
So if they knew that wasn't Brit, or they didn't even try to determine whether or not that was her, and then they publish this episode, they don't show the photos, so maybe that's how they get around it. They blurred out the photos so we didn't even see them, but they allow this narrative to be out there that this is her and she's doing something explicit. Now, again, we don't even know what it was because they didn't talk about that. So that also could go towards the defendants in this case, their favor. But if like, because she has to prove that something was false about her, which she's saying that wasn't her, and that it caused a harm to her reputation, which that's true. But she has to show that what was false was published, which it was, but that they knew or they disregarded the truth in some way. And so I think the question will come down to, well, we didn't see it, and we didn't know specifically what she was doing, but we all know that it was supposed to be her, and we know it was sexual. But the people in that room thought it was Brit, and the people even the other housewives thought it was Brit, and they saw it. So I think that it doesn't feel frivolous. And so when we say we're tired of lawsuits, I'm tired of frivolous lawsuits, right? if there's if somebody was actually wronged, then I'm never going to go against them when it comes to that. But if they knew it was her, or they didn't even try to figure out, like they just let this narrative be out there that Brit was the one doing these sexual acts, because I never heard any other housewives say that didn't look like Brit.
Well, I think to your earlier point, their way of maybe getting around it is that they were very, very vague in how they addressed what the images were on the show. The women were very vague.
But those people saw it in the room.
Those people saw it in the room. And that's where I am a little confused, because they did a whole investigation. And that's how we ended up with Kenya being asked to leave the season. Is Bravo, NBC Uni, I don't know what production company, did an investigation on this incident. And so I would assume by doing an investigation, they would know what was shown. I would also assume that Brit would be privy to what was shot, like in the investigation. I don't know. It's complex.
She says she was asking for it and she wasn't getting it. I mean, she wasn't in the room. She found out about it later.
But that's like another thing where I'm just like, there was so many images going around on the internet, and I didn't see them. Like, I think they got taken down, but when it happened, people were talking about it on the blogs and stuff like that. So I kind of find it hard to believe that she wouldn't have been able to get some type of access to what was on those poster boards by someone that was still there at the salon.
If it in fact wasn't her, I think there could possibly be a case. I'm not saying she could win it, but I don't think it would be thrown out.
But like, I guess what's the argument? That you didn't say that it was me. You didn't say that it was not me. Like, by not saying that this wasn't me, it caused harm. Like,
well, the statement that Kenya made is, this is Brit. This is who she is, right? So there's a statement. It was published, right, by a third party. Bravo. Published it, right? We saw this footage. Now, we saw it blurred out, or you could say it was published by Kenya to those people. Now, Kenya's not named in the lawsuit. She's blaming the company. So she's saying they published it. So they put this out here. They put this narrative out there, right? Kenya said it was Brit. The narrative is, this is Brit. The narrative is that Brit is doing something salacious, right? We didn't see it, but the statement is still out there, that she's putting it out there. She's saying it caused harm to her reputation and her business. If they knew that it was not in fact Brit, that she has to prove that, or if they disregarded the truth, right? That maybe somebody said it wasn't her, or they never looked at the photo, or they never did their investigation. Like, the investigation seems to be like, what Kenya did was wrong, and she called out this person. She put this person out there. We're like, this is so wrong, we can't condone it. We're sending her home. But if she can prove that they disregarded that, it didn't try to figure out if it was her, like they were reckless, they were so reckless in that sense, then she's a case. So I don't know, did the pic, because Brit makes it seem like, I don't know if Brit saw the poster boards. The poster boards may not even exist. Brit might be seeing a picture that wasn't actually on the poster board. We don't even know. You know what I mean? We have no idea.
Yeah.
Unless she asked for she's going to get the unedited footage because she's filing a lawsuit.
I guess another question too, though, is like, afterwards, once it all played out and stuff, and she talked about her time as it was being like a cam web girl, basically, right? Webcam girl. She also implied that those acts were likely, that she did do stuff like that.
But she might have gotten the wrong picture. Yeah.
It seems like she, even though she didn't see it, she felt like something, like she knew of what it could have been, essentially.
Right. It's possible that there could have been her doing sexual acts out there, because she's been on camera doing sexual acts, but she's saying these were not her. And
Okay.
so, if the false statement or narrative out there was published and it caused harm and they knew it or they disregarded it, they were so reckless with it, which is the case.
Do you think she was uninvited from the reunion as well as like Kenya was, or do you think she was welcome to come and plead her case?
To me, there's no way that they didn't know that she was about to file this lawsuit.
Yeah. So she was asked not to come.
Well, I think it's like a conflict of interest. We can't, I think it's probably mutual. Like, we can't have you come to this reunion and then she probably doesn't want to say something against her own interests. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if they fight it, because then that's a slippery slope. Like as a viewer, we obviously hate to see this because we don't want production companies doing things that open them up to lawsuits, right? Because we don't want to see them you don't want to see them wronging anybody, right? But you also don't want to see them opening themselves up to lawsuits, right? So tighten that up, get it together, because this could be the end of these shows that we know and love. They could be bankrupt by all these lawsuits. It's the production company's responsibility to process these things out, to do their research, to investigate these things so things like this don't slip through the crack. In my opinion, the episode probably never even should have aired. And maybe they thought they were doing their due diligence by blurring out the images, but it was enough to know. Like the moment she was like, I'm bringing these out, they should have shut it down.
Yeah.
Because it was obviously so egregious that the women were walking out.
Didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think they had to address it because like an obvious, well-known, mostly liked housewife was asked to leave mid-season, but maybe they showed too much.
Yeah. Maybe they showed too much. All right. Last bit of news. Tom Girardi, guys, he's back. This time he's been sentenced to 7 years and 3 months in federal prison for stealing $15 million from injured clients in his long-running Ponzi scheme, which he used to fund his lavish lifestyle, which we consumed on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Tom is 86 years old, guys. He just turned 86 last week. Gemini. And he was ordered to surrender and begin his prison sentence July 17th, where he is directed to also pay more than $2.3 million in restitution and fines. I mean, not much to see here. I mean, hope that I hope that restitution is paid, which still doesn't even make these people whole since he stole $15 million from these victims. It takes a diabolical person to take from people who are already suffering, who have already lost so much, and money doesn't even replace what was lost, which were lives.
And who put their trust in you.
Yes.
You were representing them.
Yes. And you take an oath to do that. And not only do you steal from them, but you steal from them so you can live a luxurious life. Like, that is the definition of shitting on somebody. I mean, it is, I don't even know.
I am glad that it seems like we have found an end to this long story. It seems as if Tom Girardi is going to live the last years of his life in prison.
Evil dies slow.
Yeah, we might see him in 7 years and in a wheelchair. So who knows? But I will say what this means for Housewives. I know they're filming Beverly Hills right now. I'm sure Erica will address it. I don't really care anymore. I don't want to hear Erica talk about this man anymore. I hope it's a blip and we can move on. Good riddance. And I hope the victims, I hope that they feel somewhat some closure with this.
Yeah.
But as you said, nothing's going to right their wrongs fully.
Not at all. Well, hate to end on that note, but at least he is being sentenced to prison.
Yes.
And he's been ordered to pay restitution. So an end of that whole Tom Girardi fiasco, which has been years in the making and longer for those who have been taken advantage of by him and wronged by him. So that is it for us here on Morally Corrupt, our news show, which has been jam-packed. A lot going on. They've also announced BravoCon's happening.
Yes.
It's sold out, 3-day passes. So if you're trying to go out, maybe the 1-day passes are still available, maybe not. I don't know. Took a year off. It's back. We're going to be back. I don't know if that's confirmed, but I'm manifesting that. And yeah, that is it for us. Make sure you guys join us on Friday for Morally Corrupt, the recap version.
Yeah. Real Housewives of Miami comes out this week, I believe.
Didn't even know that, guys. What kind of
So
podcaster am
we
I?
will be recapping that.
So we lost Summer House. We get Miami. Very excited about that.
Yes.
Very excited. All right, you guys, take care, and we'll see you Friday.